Hello everyone. I snuck outside here on the patio. Now the farming equipment's gonna start going by. I left the dogs in there and hopefully they won't know that I'm out here. But I just wanted to talk about, how 2026 has been going for me so far, and a couple of things that I've changed around, and now here they are. You guys want to come outside? Huh? Come on. I don't know how they always know. Come here, run up there. Come here. Oh, goodness. This is Lucy, if you don't know Lucy. This is my little baby girl. She's already 4. So in September, my husband started having some health issues, September 25. And they were pretty serious, and he had, some dermatological, if that's a word, surgery to correct the problems and stuff. And he just doesn't want to cooperate with anyone. He just wants to be young and healthy, and he's fine, and I'm fine, and you're fine, and everybody's fine. And he didn't want to talk about it. So fast forward from September, we got into Christmas time or January, and he started to not want to eat. And I've always been the type, and I don't know if I got it from my mom or if it was just always the aspiration that I never could satisfy to be, a homemaker and cook a meal and make sure that everybody got fed. And even if it's just me and him, I always wanted to make sure that he had something healthy to eat in the evening, because as older people, we don't eat a whole lot during the day. And so I had been cooking, just regular meals, nothing fabulous or anything, and eating early at around 5. And he just was sticking his nose up at, or turning his nose up at everything I'd fix. And then he would say, and he never, ever, ever complained about anything like that. And so I was a little discouraged. I don't know what else to do. And he said, I'm sick of chicken. I'm sick of hamburger. I'm sick of it all. Okay, so he started to lose a substantial amount of weight, and something else happened. There has been so much this year. Something else happened, and he went to the doctor, and they found out that he was anemic. And so in the doctor's manual that they have to go down A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or whatever, they had to check each box by trying to find out where he was bleeding. So we did every test known to mankind. He still wasn't eating. He was still losing weight. Nobody seemed to be following up. We just kept getting him scheduled for all these tests, and nothing was showing up. Everything was normal. But again, felt like they'd let him slip through the cracks. And then his legs started to bother him. A lot of pain in his legs. He couldn't even walk to the mailbox, which is 50 feet or something from the front door, and back, without extreme pain in his legs. And, his feet were not a good color. His feet were turned blue and stuff. So we went back to the doctor, and the doctor tried to blow it off as sciatica pain. And I'm not a doctor. Worked in a doctor's office for 25 years. I know enough to be dangerous, but I do know a thing or two. And I had had enough. And I said, and this was like at the beginning of March, I think it was. And he started talking about, his leg pain was because of his back, and I was like, no, I'm sorry. And so my husband and the doctor were both in the room, and the doctor, and I just interrupted, and so he stopped and he let me talk. And I said, for the last few months, this man has been like trying to feed a toddler. He won't eat anything. He's lost a significant amount of weight. He can't walk anywhere. He's not going to be able to cut grass or do anything this spring because of his legs. And it's not sciatica. It's both legs, and his toes are turning blue. That is not back pain. And so he looked at his chart and he goes, well, let's review, this weight loss thing. Because a lot of people say, oh, I've had a lot of weight loss, and they haven't. Well, he viewed his chart, and it does calculate, his weight, and it plummeted. And he said, oh, yeah, so he did more blood work, and he was more anemic, still not like needing a transfusion, but it was going down, and it had gone down substantially in a month. And all the other tests, like I said, were negative. He goes, well, what? He goes, what are you trying to say? And I said, the man has a history of vascular disease. That's in his chart. I want a referral to a vascular surgeon. We don't have one. We haven't had one in years because he's been okay. I need you to refer him to a vascular surgeon. So he did. We went to see him, and it was pretty serious by then. And this whole time now, I'm watching the man that I married no longer be the man that I married. Oh, Lucy. He was weak. He was short-tempered. He didn't feel well. He was just a completely different person. And so he ended up having 100% blockage in his aorta down here. And he had a very serious major surgery. They called it a bypass, aortic bypass, where they put this tube in him down here, went past the aorta and into his groin vessels, so that it would push the blood down into his legs and his feet and take away most of, if not all of, the pain, and his feet wouldn't be gray anymore, and he wouldn't have so much pain. So that was done March 30th. And he came through it like a champ. Still doesn't want to eat much. And so I'm kind of over trying to cater that to him, because now that I know that he's through the worst of it, if he doesn't want to eat, that's on him. And so I changed my mindset, and I'm a happier person for it. The way that I look at it now is when I go grocery shopping or order stuff in from the grocery, because sometimes I just don't feel like walking through those great big stores. I'm thinking about what I might want to eat that week. Not what he likes, not what he wants, not anything like that. It's what I might want to eat. If I want frozen pizza, I'll order a frozen pizza in. I'll order some hamburger. I'll make something with hamburger, maybe sloppy joes, maybe chili, something like. But my mindset is to make it for me. Now, does he eat it? Of course he does. But there's no begging anymore. There's no arguing anymore. There's no, please, for the love of God, you have to eat something. When he went into surgery, he weighed 118 pounds. So I wasn't lying about it. Now he has gained, he's up to 126, I think he told me the last time. So, he's getting there, but like I said, he can cut the grass now, he can walk, he's fine. I mean, not fine, but he's fixed. And I can't spend every night and day just worrying and fussing over him, because he wouldn't cooperate with me. When I would say I needed to call the doctor, he wouldn't let me. There was a lot of time that went by that he was suffering with this, that I knew something was bad wrong, and he wouldn't let me call the doctor. Finally, one day, my brother-in-law said, "You're just gonna have to suck it up and call. And if he gets mad, he gets mad." So I did. I made an appointment. We got in that very day, and he took a shower and went, because I was afraid if I made the appointment, he would refuse to go. That's what I mean, it was a brick wall thing. It just kept butting up against a brick wall. So we got through that, but that is the way I think about it now. You know, food is, when you get older, you just kind of have to think about things that are like in a different way. If you eat your big meal at noon and then that's the only meal you eat, that's fine. It doesn't have to be such a rigid schedule like I was trying to enforce and had always done through my whole life. It takes a while when you're, I don't know, stuck in your ways or used to doing something a particular way to, you know, take a step back and rethink it and think, you know, I don't need to be doing this anymore. So a couple of things that, and then I'll let you go. A couple of other things that I don't need to be doing anymore that I have quit, and it's been saving on the budget. For a long time, for about 5 years, I took a protein powder. It was called Vital Proteins. I would put it in my coffee, and I swore that it helped my joint pain and maybe my skin a little bit. But there were times when, you know, the price of it was going up, things were getting tough with the economy and everything, and I'd have to skip when I need to buy some more. I'd have to skip at that time, and then I thought, well, I still don't really need to spend the money on that. And I'd skip it again, and before you knew it, I wasn't taking it anymore. And also those little gummies, they taste real good, like strawberry. They're called Hair, Skin, and Nails. And I think I told you in another video that they also make one that's just for hair thickening. And I bought those one time, and they did seem to work. They're pricey too, so I don't buy them anymore. I'm just doing my shampoos and that other stuff I talked about, the serum. So the Hair, Skin, and Nails, I'm like, I don't need that anymore. I mean, I'm not trying to grow my nails out to be, you know, some corporate queen or anything like that. My nails, I like them to be short and manicured, and, you know, sometimes I'll put polish on, but it's not, I mean, it's not a big thing. And so they really weren't doing anything for me, and they were cheaper than just the hair ones, but really, if it's not going to be helping me. And so I did do research, and I said, you know, for a woman who's 70, does those kind of things help, like the Vital Proteins or something along that line? And everything that I found said no, not really. I mean, very, very minimal would it help with joint pain, and it would take months to notice it, if it did help at all. And as far as, you know, skin and hair and everything, very, very minimal. So that helped me just decide I don't need that anymore. So I'm saving money there. So I thought I'd share that, and share, you know, his issues, because I know, I mean, this isn't my job, and I'll never make money at this. It's something I like to do once in a while, and I like to talk to y'all, and I haven't been real, you know, forthcoming. I said something about his health issues, and then I never got back because things got crazy, so I apologize for that. But that is how 2026 has been for me and for us. So let me know if you guys are having a good year, a bad year, or just a regular old year, and we can chat about it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.